For this soap saver pattern, I do recommend a natural fiber, preferably cotton. That in a solid color or their speckled colors look really nice in this pattern. If you only have acrylic and you want to use acrylic, I don't see why not. The texture might just feel a little bit different, but probably not any different than loofah you would get at the store. We have our yarn. Other tools that you will need are a pair of scissors, a crochet hook. I'm using a size H 5mm sized hook. This I find gives it a really good size. Tapestry needle, and this is optional, a stitch marker. I usually don't use a stitch marker for this, but if it's your first time making the soap saver, I do recommend a stitch marker. We'll just use that 1 or 2 times. Even though in the beginning I say that this is a pattern maybe for a more experienced crocheter, if you have the video to follow along with, I think anybody can do it really. So this pattern is worked in a spiral, but we do have a foundation row. This is the first time that we are going to really count our stitches. After that, we're following a pattern, but it's not too hard. It's not too bad. So after you have your slip knot on your hook, we're going to chain 9. Okay. You flip it over, start working into the second chain from hook into the back bumps. We have to start with the bumps on the back. So that will be single crochets all the way down. For now, just make 7 single crochets. I'm going to do something else in the 8th one. So we have made our 7 single crochets into the back bumps of our foundation chain. In that 8th bump, we are going to make a single crochet increase. So 2 single crochets in this same bump. 1 and 2. Okay, now while we're here, we're going to take that stitch marker and put it in the turning chain that we made over here. Okay, that's not going anywhere. At our foundation row, we came over, did the single crochets, made our increase. Now instead of flipping it like normal, we're going to rotate it. So this is why I asked you to do it in the back bumps, because we're going to go into the V's on this side. So that same stitch where we did the single crochet increase, we're going to do another single crochet increase, but inserting our hook on the V side of the stitch. Now this is the weirdest row. This is the hardest row. So once you get past this, we're fine. We are good to go. So we will continue to single crochet. So now we have single crocheted all the way around. We are in this, well, the next stitch is right before the stitch marker. We are going to do an increase here. After that increase, we're going to rotate, and this is what we're going to do with this stitch marker. We're going to skip that stitch and make an increase in the next stitch. That was our turning chain. It usually doesn't count as a stitch, and here it certainly doesn't count as a stitch either. So we're done with that stitch marker for right now. Keep it handy though, we'll use it in a little bit. After that single crochet increase, we'll keep going down the line with single crochets. So this is where the pattern starts, where we're directing our own increases. You will always make a single crochet increase when you get to the edge or the short side of the oval, and the stitch that you will put the increase into will be the increase stitch that's closest to the straight edge. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 increases right here. Well, it's 2 increases, 4 single crochets. We'll put another increase stitch on top of the first single crochet increase that we get to and the last one. The first one and the last one are the ones that are closest to the straight edge. That's where we're making the increases, and that will continue as we work in the spiral. So here we're coming up to an increase. We'll put the increase right on top of that. We will single crochet around the corner. Now we're on the straight side again. We're going to single crochet until we meet our next increase. So when you're doing this, you're always kind of checking with the row that you're working into to see if you need to increase or if we're just keeping it normal. So see here we have 2 stitches in the same stitch in the row below. So we're going to increase here. And then single crochet around the corner. Until you get to your very last increase. Add another single crochet in that same stitch and keep going. We'll keep doing this pattern until we have 32 stitches in that round. Oh, did I miss? I didn't miss. Haha. We'll keep going until we have 32 single crochets all the way around. So if you're counting the stitches that all have like an open top that haven't been worked into yet, we're aiming for 32. So now I have 32 single crochet open stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Having 32 means that we can have an even number of posts that we can weave in and out of to make a really nice drawstring. If you come up to a different number to get it to fit the bar sew that you want it to fit, that's okay. The number of posts will just be different. It'll still work. So now from this point on, it gets much easier. But we do have to weave in our ends. Because this is basically a bag shape, it'll be hard to get inside here to weave it in later. So just go ahead and do it now while it's easy. And if you don't care to weave in ends, that's okay. This is like a bath mitt, you know, probably no one else is going to see it. And with single crochets like this, I don't really do anything fancy with weaving in the end. I'm just kind of going under the stitches. Under the stitches of the foundation row a little ways. Skipping this bar, going back over. You don't need a weaving tutorial. I'm not the person to do that anyway. Okay. And I don't make it especially tight because I don't expect this to get much wear and tear. I've been making these since like 2011. Like I've never had one fall apart on me, but you know, who knows what could happen. So from here on out, we won't be doing any increases, but we do need that stitch marker again. So we'll put the stitch marker here in your 32nd stitch. What we'll do from here, look at you little mushroom, there we go. What we'll do from here is do one row around, move the stitch marker up a row, another row around, move the stitch marker up a row. These rows are single crochets only, no increases. So this part will be pretty fast. So with just one row of regular single crochets, we can already see it's starting to turn into a bowl shape. So I've come up right next to the stitch with the stitch marker in it. I'll work into that stitch, remove the stitch marker, move that stitch marker up, and then do another full round of regular single crochets. So now I finished that second row of regular single crochets and I'm coming up to that stitch marker. What I'll do here is go ahead and remove that stitch marker, single crochet where the stitch marker was, and now we're done with the stitch marker for now, but you can keep using it if you want to. For me, they're too fiddly. My nails get in the way. So from here, we're going to chain 3. We're going to start making the mesh part of the Soap Saver bag. So that is 1, 2, and 3. So this is our first post, but we'll make the other ones a little bit differently. We'll skip this single crochet here and double crochet into the next stitch. Now this is where the repeat starts. We will chain 1, skip 1 single crochet, double crochet in the next stitch. So again, that is chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. And we'll do that all the way around. And when we connect it here, I'll show you how we'll do that. It's a little bit different. So now we've come all the way around with our mesh pattern and we are ready to attach our stitches to the chain 3 that we started with. So we'll count to the second one. You can do it that way or this way. There's just 3, so the second one is always the second one. We'll go into the middle chain, however you do it. I usually do it this way just because it's easier, but you can do the back bump, anything like that, and then make a slip stitch. And there we go, that chain 3 becomes part of the double crochet pattern. So we're going to repeat this row until we have a total of 7 double crochet chain 1 rows. So just 6 more of these. To show you again, we'll do 1, 2, 3 chains. We're going to skip this chain space, double crochet right on top of that double crochet. Chain 1, skip this chain, double crochet right on top of the double crochet. I find the second row is a bit easier than the first row. So we'll go all the way around again and then attach with a slip stitch in the second chain, just the same way as we did the first row. So repeat these until you have a total of 7 double crochet rows, and then we'll finish up the top. Okay, here we are finishing up row 7 of the double crochet mesh rows, and I wanted to point out this is where I'm connecting the chains with the slip stitch. As long as you do it consistently each row, it'll look really nice when you finish. Even when you can tell it's a seam, you can still tell it looks really nice. Okay, so here I'm going to connect with the slip stitch, and now we are going to finish up the top of this. So after that slip stitch, to connect the row together, we'll chain 1 and then make a single crochet into the chain space. So you don't have to, try to fiddle with this chain to get a single crochet in it. Just go into this empty space, yarn over, pull it up, finish it out like a regular single crochet. So we'll single crochet in the top of the double crochet, into the chain space, into the top of the double crochet, and we'll go all the way around like that. This just gives it a really nice finished look instead of having the mesh just stop suddenly. Now I've made the last single crochet in that row. I'm going to skip this chain 1 that we did and slip stitch right into that first single crochet and finish it off however you want to. This is how I do it. I chain 1, I pull it really tight, and then I cut it with enough of a tail that I can weave it in comfortably and just pull it out like that. All right, so that is the main body of the Soap Saver. Your bar soap will go just right inside like that. We'll make a drawstring that goes in the 7th row of the double crochets so that when it can cinch at the top, just have a really cute aesthetic look. This is our last end to weave in. So you already did one. Let's just do the other one. Oh my god, don't you hate that? There we go. I really do enjoy hand sewing, and so that's why I kind of like leaving it ends. But if you hate it, you do you. I really don't care. I just like getting my needles out and stabbing a little bit. There, that's as complicated as it needs to be. Very nice. And it doesn't have to only be soap in here, you know, little trinkets, little rocks. Next, we're going to make the actual drawstring. So put that bag to the side. Really, please don't lose it, otherwise the drawstring is just like silly on its own. So we do want a tail that's maybe a little bit longer than what you usually would start a chain with. I like to keep it about, like at the very least, 5 or so inches. I made this really long because I'm looking through a camera the whole time I'm crocheting this, so that's a-okay. Oop. We're going to chain 42. Not because it's a book reference, a movie reference, or anything. Just because that is 32 plus 10. And it's easy to remember. So that is 42 regular schmegular chains. And then cut it about the same distance away or more as the tail you started with, because those will be decorative. So next, we're going to weave this through the 7th row of our double crochet mesh chains. So the way I like to do this, I'll show you both ways. The way I like to do this is get on one corner. It's not a corner, I keep saying that. Get on one edge of the soap saver. Take the drawstring and push it through a chain space. Then you can pull it out the next chain space. And then just weave it back and forth in and out of the chain spaces. If you finished your, I guess the base part with 32 single crochets, then it should be perfectly even when you're doing the drawstring. And if it's not perfectly even, it'll still work. No big deal. See, there we go. Pull it all the way through. In my written instructions, I have it a little bit differently, but this is just the same. What we'll do with these two ends, pull them out so that they're kind of even and that you can get a good hold on them. I like to finish it off with a square knot. So that's pulling it like how you would start your shoelaces, presumably. I don't know how you do your shoelaces. And then doing that again right on top. That is called a square knot. Bam. What you can do is you can cut them here, you can cut them right up against there. That's a little bit dangerous. What I like to do is make little knots at the end. It doesn't matter how far out they are. I like to aim for about an inch. I think it just looks like cute little antennas, like a butterfly or something. Snip it for the scraps. And there you go. And this is totally reusable. It's just cotton, so you can throw it in the washing machine, you can wash it by hand. I kind of recommend washing it by hand because of all the soap residue. That's not necessarily the kind of soap you want to get on maybe your other towels or clothes, but you can still put it in the wash. It's okay to do that. I would say in between uses, use the drawstring to hang it up to dry, like that. You can't really see, but you know, using the loop as a way to hang it up. Another thing you can do, I said I would show you, but I tied it off actually, is pretend that the base is on right. You can start it in the middle here, and then you can kind of make it like a bow. If you imagine that we didn't tie this off, you can make it like a bow, like that. And that might be, if you're using it not for soap, like maybe you have like cedar chips or dried lavender in a sachet, and then you can put that in the closet to when you store your sweaters or something. But lots of little uses for this bag. I mainly just use it for soap. But yeah, that's the free pattern. If you want the written pattern, I'll have it linked. It's free. You can make a donation if you want to. I just do this for fun, so don't expect high quality. All right, thank you. Bye.